everyone and welcome to a GT car that is exotic, exclusive, comfortable, beautifully crafted, and let's be honest, a reliable car that wouldn't break down more often and would be on road instead of in the garage, unlike some GT cars, which is this Lexus LC 500 convertible. So in today's video, let's find out everything in detail about this LC 500 convertible. But before we move forward, please consider subscribing to my channel by clicking that subscription button, and also make sure to press that bell icon so that you never miss any video updates from my channel. So let's start off from the front. So you get this swindle design grille, which is the signature Lexus design grille, and it's like curved in so many directions. It looks absolutely perfect. And then there is also a chrome surround around the grille, and then you get these signature DRLs out here, and then this is a 3-eyed crystal LED headlight cluster, and the turn signals are out here, and there is also a headlight washer which has been given on both the sides. While there are also cornering lights in this LED headlight cluster itself, the structure actually of the headlight is pretty compact that way, but it's really effective at night. There are also vents out here, and I'm happy to report these are the original vents. Also, I did a review of the hardtop version of this same LC 500, so you can click on the pop-up banner out there and you can watch a detailed review of the hardtop version of this LC 500. Well, if you like art, then you really have to check out this car in person, because this is a gorgeous car, and it's also a very long car, and not unnecessarily long, but actually every bit has been cleverly designed so that it just doesn't become like a sore to your eyes or anything. But yeah, let's start from the side. So you get these 21-inch rims out here, and on the bottom you would find this extra bit of design trim at the bottom. It extends. The shape actually goes like bulges in the front, then again tapers in the middle, and then again extends out in the back. So you get these huge arches out here, and the best part is when you look at it from your side mirrors, they look absolutely, this car is a treat to drive. Whenever you are like it, you can actually see the car from your side mirrors. That is cool. So yeah, and then the same 21-inch rims out here, and the side mirrors are power foldable. They are also power adjustable. They also have the blind spot warning inside them. They also have the turn signals in them, and yeah, they have this black color plastic glossy one in them, and these doors are really long. And look at this, like the best thing, like, so you press it, and then there is also a Lexus badging on the door handles itself when they open, and then when you open, yeah, really long doors. There is also carbon fiber on the door sills with the Lexus badging, and then you just close it and you get this beige color soft top, which I am going to be coming to that soon, because that is what this car is all about, because you have to see this car when the roof is down. And then you also have the vents out here. Again, they are real vents, so they channel air out here and reducing the drag out here, and also help cooling down these brakes. Now also the engine given on this LC 500 is sort of given as much as possible in the center. They've tried to keep the mass in the center, so the engine sits somewhere out here, right on the where these wheels are, and the driver's seat, as you can see, is almost dead in the center. And then you have the rear end out here, and not much of an overhang also in the rear, and the roof folds down right in the inside this one, which is why the LC 500 is only offered in a V8, because the hybrid package wasn't possible, because the batteries would then consume the space and the roof couldn't be folded down. So yeah, it's only in V8, but I'm glad it's only the V8, which is a 5-liter naturally aspirated. Now let me show you the best bit about this LC 500, the convertible feature. So in order to do that, let me jump in, start the car, listen to that exhaust tune. So now you press this button out here, and in 16 seconds this LC 500 is going to become a yacht for the road, a luxury yacht. In 16 seconds the roof goes down, and we are now ready. And if you don't want these windows to be folded up, you can fold them down and enjoy the roads, the winds in your air. Oh, it looks fabulous from the side when you look at it now. but it's just too hot, to be precise 45 degrees. So I'm going to put the roof up again. I don't want to damage the interior and myself. So when the roof goes up in 15 seconds, so, and you can do that while you're on the move, so you can drive up to 50 kilometers per hour and this roof will still go up. That is a cool thing. So in the rear, let me start off with these tail lights, because they are again a masterpiece. So you have these 3-spoke design tail lights out here. There are 2 of them which extend onto the side profile, and then the main one is this one, the tail light cluster, which has these cascading light effects, which is like, you know, like a 3D effect. When you see it at night, looks really cool. But the only thing is, I didn't like this, you know, top bit, which is like the plastic one, which is a chrome one. Yeah, looks a little cheaped out. That's the only, you know, big problem like that I found. And the side, the turning lights are out here, and not just that, even in the door you have the Lexus, you know, projection lights, which looks really cool at night. And then you have the LC 500 badging in the center, the Lexus logo on top. There's also this brake light, and no spoiler and unnecessary things to, you know, ruin the you know, the flowing shape out here. And at the bottom you would notice chrome surrounds around these exhaustives. So these are quad exhaustives, 2 on each side, but the eventual, you know, the bordering is only a single tip. And on top of that, you would notice another fake sort of vent, and you know, it's also been chromed around. So yeah, don't know why that was put. Have a listen to this exhaust note from this V8 5-liter engine. Now in terms of the visibility, it's kind of alright, but it's a little restricted due to, you know, these pillars on both the sides. But nonetheless, they've actually given you the glass roof, so yeah, the visibility that way is pretty clear. But the solution is to drop down the roof and you will get like full visibility after that. So when it comes to the boot space, so the way to open the boot is there is a button given on the right side next to these tail lights. So when you press that, you can open this boot, which is a tiny one, and it's also quite high that way. There are also scuff plates out here, and also it's got a huge lip. But you can put 149 liters of, you know, something in the boot, so that is pretty good. And also it's covered with this, you know, carpet lining, which is not just the very normal carpet lining, but really plush and premium. Even inside they've lined the whole, you know, boot with that as well. And the battery of this car, you would find it in the back. So when you lift the cover, you would actually see the battery, and there are also tying points in the back, so you can tie your luggage and stuff, and then it extends onto the side. But yeah, putting your luggage is a little, you know, kind of a task, because it's literally just, you know, horizontal. So you put it in and then, you know, get it out, but be careful about, you know, not damaging your expensive LC 500 badging. So in a Lexus, you would typically expect an immersing, luxurious experience, and in the LC 500 they've elevated that to another level, because my god, you are truly just, you know, dipping yourself in some exclusive, exquisite, you know, materials out here. So starting from, you know, the dashboard, you get this soft touch tan color leather covered dashboard out here. Again, leather covered. This is also leather covered on the sides. On the sides out here, this handle which is given out here, which is again tan colored leather. And even on top, there is this suede kind of material on top of this dashboard. And on the door cards, again, yeah, leather covered, soft touch. And even this is and bear in mind, this door is really long, and it's also a frameless door. So yeah, the materials that they have selected, it's really good. Like, you know, the moment you touch anything out here, you know, it's all premium, everything. There is no corner cutting anywhere, except just one bit on the steering wheel, where they, at the bottom, they put like this plastic piece. That's the only thing I could find on this, you know, inside this interior of this LC 500 that, yeah, did not belong. Yeah, this has to be changed. That's the only thing. But otherwise, yeah, really fancy materials out here. Even where you rest your hands, that is all leather covered in this tan color interiors. And then I'll come to these seats, because yeah, that's one of the best features. So Once you start with the driver's display, you get that experience of the Lexus display with the center dial, and on that you get your speed, digital speed, and then different bit of information, and you can see your consumption, your fuel average, and then you can also see your range. You can see the tire pressure, you can see the gear positions, the G meter if you are going to be going around quite quickly, then and then you can leave it blank, and then there is also the radar control that you can see. And the best part is that you can move this binnacle in the right side using this back button. So when you press that, it goes on the side, and it's actually a mechanical feature and not just digitally, which is done on the screen these days. So then when you can find on your left side the different sort of settings, like your same sort of menu, which is your fuel information, your range and everything, your oil temperature, your G-force meter, the gear position, the sway warning, which will tell you if you are sleepy or not, the tire pressure, and then blank screen, and then you can see a compass, and then your media information, your lane keep assist, the lane information, and also if there are any warnings or messages, and then a detail settings in which you can change everything from your heads up display, the brightness position, and every single detail, your vehicle settings, your meter settings, units, and every single setting that you can change from here. So that's a little complicated, which is what I found, because a lot of menu options are inside this, and all you have to while driving, it can get a little fiddly when you're trying to change all these settings while on the move. And there's also a heads up display out here. So that heads up display also shows you information like your cruise control information, adaptive cruise control, the distance, the speed, the RPMs, also the media information. So that is pretty much it, but it doesn't change the design of it if you change to different driving modes. Now when it comes to this steering wheel, you will find this leather covered tan color perforated, half perforated steering wheel design, which is electronically controllable, which is your tilt and telescopic in the most Lexus way. There is no effort that you have to put inside this car. And then behind you will find magnesium pedals, and boy, they are like so rich, like and instead of the other cars where you would find the plastic ones, no. And then these paddle shifters are actually mounted on the steering wheel itself. So when you're going to be turning, they are going to stay where they are, so you don't have to remember like while turning to flap them from here. So that's one good thing. And on your right side you would find the controls for your adaptive cruise control, and also the controls for your media, the media and the infotainment screen controls. So you get the adaptive cruise control on this LC 500, and on the left side you would find the controls to change the driver's information display, all the controls which are given, and also the communication, and also the volume controls on the left side. So overall the steering wheel is in the most Lexus fashion, quite comfortable, and it's also very thin and not very thick to grab onto. When it comes to the air conditioning controls, you would find the button operated air conditioning controls given out here, and then you can easily switch on to all the different settings from here itself. So you can easily switch it on and then change the temperature on both the sides. So it's a dual zone air conditioning control, and there are also detail settings inside the infotainment screen. Now that infotainment screen is controlled using this trackpad which has been given along with this volume dial. So let me come into that as well. So in order to change that air conditioning control, so you have to go through that menu option, and then you go to the climate, and then you can change all the settings which you saw in the physical one. But there are some more settings like your dual control if you want for the air conditioning, and also there are seat options. So these seats are ventilated seats, the cooled ones, so you can change the settings from here. And then there is something called as the concierge service, which is the Lexus service. So you leave onto that option and let the car figure out what to do in terms of the cooling levels for the passengers differently. So that is really good option which you should definitely try. But gets a little fiddly when you are driving again, because it's a very I found sort of a distraction when you are driving this. So and plus this trackpad isn't very precise that way. Now coming to this infotainment screen, this is a 10.3 inch colorful display, and it's got a bit of a glare because there is a plastic covering on top of it, because this whole dashboard is like a curving one, although the screen is just flat, it's not a curve or anything, so it's like curving, and then there is a glass on top of it. So yeah, when it comes to the actual usage of this infotainment screen, so you get the map inbuilt navigation system, but again there is a lot of connectivity options which I'm going to be just coming to that. But these maps are again used by this trackpad only, so everything is just used by that option. So there is also the audio option, and in the audio option you can find the source, and in terms of the connectivity you can connect to this infotainment system using the Bluetooth. There is also USB, and there is also wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So when you connect to the Apple CarPlay or the Android Auto, you can use the maps, the Google Maps from it, and then this screen then sounds all right, because then you don't have to work around the inbuilt features. There's a phone option, there are the app options, which when you connect to your phone you can see all those menu options, and then there is the info option in which you can see how good you are with your fuel consumption and everything you're driving in. And then there is also the setup option in which you can go and see and change every single option on this car. Your Bluetooth, actually in order to connect to the Bluetooth system you have to go through the settings and then Bluetooth. It's a long way, so there are like 4-5 layers inside if you want to just find one option, which is why I said while driving can get a bit of a distraction. And then detailed menu options, and there is also a split screen option on your right side, so you can use the split screen option, and on one side you can see something, and on the other side you can have your the navigation system, your media, your fuel consumption, and also you can have the air conditioning control. So in terms of the overall system, it's just that if they start giving this as a touch screen, I mean this cockpit is one of the best experience. I mean, I am not even kidding, because they've already started giving it in the IS350, so I'm really hopeful that they would just include that also in this one. Actually, if you want to watch the touch screen and also the review of the IS350, you can click on the pop-up banner out here and you can watch the detailed review of that. And then continuing, you also get a DVD player for some reason. There's still DVD player that has been given, and there's also this Lexus clock, and to keep you entertained during the longer journeys you will get 13 speaker Mark Levinson surround sound system, and have a listen to that as well. More buttons are given around, so there are buttons for your heads up display. You can easily switch it on and off from the left side, and so the thing is, in order to fold down the roof, you would find a bit of a struggle to find that, but it's still a clever option nonetheless, because I really like this idea. So the button for the roof is given out here in the center console, and then once you lift this cover for it, there is this button. I'm really tempted to open the roof, but it's just too hot, so I don't want to do that again. So it's always like out of the way, so you don't accidentally press it also. And there is also an SOS system which has been given on this LC500, so there is like a button which will directly connect you to an e-call center, and then if there is any emergency you can call the help right away. But the cover for that is a little flimsy. This is the second thing which I found. So it's a little loose, doesn't belong on this one. Just a little improvement in that one, that's it. Now when it comes to the storage, you will be surprised because there is not much of storage options, because it's more horizontal storage than the vertical one. So, and I get it because it's like a long sloping car, so but on the sides you can put like some stuff on the door cards, like horizontal you can put. There's also one cup holder out here which is like a flexible one, so that has a cover, and you can put your drink and everything. And actually there's an air conditioning vent also, so that drink can cool itself also. There's also another cup holder out here, but it's more squarish cup holder, so you can put your phones and wallets, so that is also a slidable one. And there's also a center storage in which you can put like your phones and wallets, everything, but it only opens on the driver side. So for the passenger side it is going to be a little inconvenient, and then you can press it and it just goes into its position. Inside this center armrest, you will find two standard USB ports and one 12-volt power socket. There is also a button for your glove box, and the glove box is a very tiny one, so but it's again lined with this, you know, velvety kind of material. Oh, such a quality one. And even the carpets, they are like those thick ones, you know, so when you are sat on it or you're resting your legs, yeah, it's really comfortable. It's like your furry carpet. The pedal set again are like those aluminum pedal sets that you will find. You would find these two dials sticking on both the sides of the center dashboard. So the right side one is the one to change, you know, your different modes, which are your sport plus, and also the comfortable and the eco mode. And when you press it in like a button, that's the normal mode. So yeah, that's I like this position because it's really convenient while on the move. And on the left side, a big button for the traction control. So yeah, this way everything is, you know, very organized in terms of the ergonomics. There are also these sun visors, and they also have this flap, so they've made sure that, you know, that extra bit of corner, you know, blocking out that sun, yeah, they've taken care of it. But yeah, because these doors are really long, so yeah, they are not really helpful for, you know, protecting you from the side. Now when it comes to these seats, oh my god, these are one of the most comfortable seats I have ever sat on. So I am not kidding. These are tan colored, like leather covered, and they have the perforation because these are the cooled seats, and they have nice bit of side support as well. They are like 8-way electronically adjustable and 2-way lumbar control, and for the driver and the passenger as well. And not just that, there is also this, you know, the clip that has been given like a strap, which, you know, holds your seat belt for you. So every time, yeah, it's just easier to, you know, grab onto that seat belt. But if someone wants to go in the back seat, so yeah, you can remove them. There are also two rear seats in the back, but the thing is, they are more like just the seats, because that's more like a storage that you can use for, because I mean, if you push the passenger seat in the front, someone can sit in the back, but it is going to be a real squeeze, because also the roof is sloping in the back. So yeah, you would just start touching, you know. And also someone in this normal seats also in the front, if they are sat, and someone about 6 feet may actually, yeah, start brushing sort of their heads against the roof as well. But also these seats can go down, so you can lower them too. Also there are child isofix points in both the rear seats. So this 2021 Lexus LC 500 convertible comes with a 5-liter V8 naturally aspirated engine that produces 471 horsepower and 539 Newton meters of torque. And this engine is mated to a 10-speed, yes, 10-speed automatic gearbox, and the power is sent through to the rear wheels, so this is a rear wheel drive car. Now the thing is, let me first come to the engine and the gearbox, because it's actually a very smooth combination, let me be honest, and it's a very good engine, which I really like as a GT cruiser, because it just says that at lower RPMs, when you press the throttle, it takes a little while to respond, but boy, that exhaust note is always going to keep you entertained, because it's throaty, it's just so, you know, bassy that way. And it's actually very quiet that way because of this roof. When you put the roof down, you can actually hear it very clear, but I'm going to come to all of that. So yeah, the best part is to just, you know, put this car, let me put it into not just the sport but the sport plus mode, and then now the engine becomes a lot more responsive, but there is still that initial hesitation, you know, at the bottom level up till that 3000 rpm. So put it in the manual mode, this car, and we have the magnesium pedal set, and now when you hold the car on the 3000 rpm mark, so that's when between that 3 to 5000 is when you will get a real burst of power and the torque. Whoa, and look at those gear changes. Whoa, it just picks up speed after that. It really picks up speed, this V8. Yeah, then it becomes really rumbly, and then you can enjoy that soundtrack as well. But the thing is, there are just 10 gears are way too many to, you know, shift all the time, because then you're just busy kind of shifting the gears. So the best thing is to just put this car in auto and let the car decide for itself what to do, because it's really good while changing gears on its own. It is trying to sort the gears for you very nicely. So even in the Sport Plus mode, so you just leave that yeah, it just goes up till the 6,000 RPM, and it really builds up that power and the torque for you. So yeah, just leave it on the auto and just enjoy the drive. But as a GT, this is a really good engine and the gearbox combination which you will find. And because there are 10 gears which are given on this one, so it's going to be a little easier on the fuel consumption, although not too much, because this still manages to do somewhere between 6 to 7 kilometers per liter fuel economy, and it's got an 82 liter fuel tank. So do the math and you'll get about 350 to 400 kilometers of range. But if you are going to be going full on with this car, then it may take a little beating in terms of the fuel economy. The thing is, the LC500 is actually a sporty car and not the sports car, so there's a lot of difference between the two. So this car, if you are planning to go on a track day or something, yes, it's not going to be that thrilling, but as a GT car for long runs, this is going to be an excellent car. And there are times when it will still deliver that power like this. When you floor it will give you that power, and then it will not embarrass you, and at least other guys around would know that it's not just a good looking car, but it's also a very decent driving and powerful car that way. So that way it will deliver. But in terms of the actual hardcore performance, it's better off you stay away from that. Now when it comes to the steering, it's a really good steering on this one, because it's pointy, it's precise, and it's very good in terms of the feedback, because it's a lot more direct, which is what I like. And you can actually know what is going on in front, and when the car is trying to change direction, there's a good weight to it. And that way I like the steering system on this one, because it doesn't let you feel disconnected from the road that way. When it comes to the suspension, the LC500 has a softer setup, and not just that, because on this generation of the LC500 there are lots of chassis improvements, because now that it has gone the soft top, so there are lots of bracing also on the chassis, and as a result of that, this car weighs a little over 2 tons. So that weight is actually quite evident when you are driving, and you will actually feel that weight too from the car itself. So there is also this stiffening which has been done, because the hardtop was a lot more easier to drive, I found sometimes, but this because it's too stiff now, so you can feel the weight, plus there is still bit of that softness in the chassis, which is why when you're turning, the back end seems to be a little sort of flexy that way and bendy a little bit, not too much, only if you are like precise enough to notice that, then you will feel that. But otherwise it's not on a day-to-day drive, this is not going to be any less capable in terms of the driving machine. So just understand that. And the suspension, as I mentioned, it's soft, but it gives you a brilliant ride quality, excellent ride quality, because you wouldn't feel a single jerk inside this cabin, even on the most uneven surfaces. Like you go through any potholes or bumps or speed humps or anything, this thing just glides over it. Right now, in fact, with these seats, the experience is just very well balanced. So very well done, Lexus, on giving that comfortable drive experience, especially for a GT car. This is what a true GT car means. Now when it comes to the noise and the vibrations, when the roof is up, actually it's a really decent car, because there is no sound leaking into the cabin from the doors, because you would expect these doors are huge, the big glasses are given, and also there is a soft top roof. None of that. So that way is very good job again, because and obviously the build quality is so good, so there is no rattling or anything as such inside this car. So and even when you put the roof down, so I'll have to slow down up to 50 kilometers, and let me put down the roof. Whoa, the weather is just perfect, and look at that sun setting right now, and this is like a perfect scenery now for me to try the roof down and enjoy this car. I mean, it would be a real shame if I couldn't do that, because this is what this car is all about. Now when even these the roof is down, you can actually not hear anything, but now you can actually now clearly hear that exhaust. Oh, it just is so beautiful. that tone from that exhaust every time, it's like that muscle car kind of noise. Oh, let me show you one more time. Oh, oh, 7,000 RPM. And yet it's still a very quiet car that way inside, because it's not all over the place. There's less wind whooshing, around on the door frames or anywhere. So yeah, it's with the roof down. Again, if it's a windy day, it's going to be a little noisier, but this is still fairly windy right now as well. But yeah, you can see there is not much of disturbance in terms of how I am speaking, and the sound is being conveyed to you. So yeah, that way it's real fun, this convertible. And people are going to notice you when you're on the road with this roof down, because boy, this looks, as I mentioned, like a luxury yacht on road. Now when it comes to the brakes, you get 4 disc brakes on this LC 500, and let me do a 100 to 0 emergency brake test. Oh, this is a 2-ton car, and it takes a real braking action for this car to stop, because the brake pedal is a little spongy, so you have to find that feel, but you are not going to be doing the emergency braking stop all the time. But yeah, just make sure you understand and know how much the pedal needs the input from your foot, so that in terms of that emergency braking action, you are always prepared. So there's a little bit of travel also on the pedal, but nonetheless, these are not the complaints, because this has been set up in a way that it's not harsh on your feet. That is what the whole point is. Now let me put the roof up, and then I'll continue with my review. When it comes to the safety systems, on this LC 500 you get 4 airbags, 2 for the front driver and the passenger, 2 side airbags again for the driver and the passengers. There is also lane keep assist. There is also child isofix points for in the rear seats, as I mentioned. And I think even in the front, if they would have given the child isofix points, yeah, it would have been a little more helpful, because yeah, it gets a little crowded in the back. So, and there's not much of space also. And there's also a single camera reversing system. The output from that is kind of all right, because yeah, that screen isn't that crisp, and the camera output is also not that good, especially at night. It's a little dark, and let's be honest, now it's about time we get a 360-degree camera system on this one as well. And in terms of the other safety systems, you would find the traction control, the vehicle stability control. When it comes to this pricing, this LC 500 convertible is only offered in a single option, and it's priced at 465,000 dirhams. And it's kind of, to me, it makes a lot more sense, because let's be honest, there are not a lot of cars in this segment that you will find as a convertible GT cruiser. And sorry, because this is a lane keep assist, and it's just kind of beeping me all the time. Continuing, yeah, so there are not many cars that you will find as an option, like truly luxurious cars that you will find. A head turner, like for 465,000, you get a head turner. You turn up in this car against a supercar, and most of the times, I know supercar is going to be noticed, but even your car is going to stand out for sure, because yeah, people are going to notice this car. And also, this LC 500 is an object of desire. It's a luxury, and it's comfort, and also it's a lot more pocket friendly compared to the other GT cars in the segment, because you may come up with a Bentley and everything, but yes, they cost $1 million+ dirhams, but this at a far lesser price still offers you that same convenience of cruising around in comfort and luxury. So for that reason, this is an excellent choice. There is also a newer suspension system that they've put on this one, so this gives you a lot more comfortable ride quality too. I think that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you for watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you've liked it, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, then click here, and if you want to watch more videos, then click here. I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, and I'm gonna enjoy this beautiful sunset with my roof down. Bye.